Before my journey, my world felt small, comfortable but limited. My heart longed for something more: wide open spaces, ancient whispers, and the wild mountains of Greece. I imagined their peaks rising like sleeping gods calling to me in dreams. The pull was irresistible. I had to answer. This wasn't just a holiday, it was a pilgrimage of the soul. I traced the winding roads of northern Greece on a map, names like Zagori and Metsovo promising adventure. I packed sturdy boots, warm jumpers, and a head full of hope. My friends wondered why I chose mountains over the famous Greek islands. The islands are beautiful, but I craved the mystery of the highlands. The crisp air, the scent of pine, the echo of goat bells. The mountains felt wild, untamed, and ancient, a different kind of magic. I wanted to belong to something vast and timeless. So, with hope in my heart, I left the city behind and journeyed toward the silence of the peaks. I had no strict plan, just a goal to be open to the landscape, the people, and the lessons ahead. I was ready to listen to the whisper of the mountains, ready to let them change me. As the plane lifted into the sky that cool July morning, I knew my life was about to be altered forever. The anticipation was electric. I was leaving behind routine for the unknown. The mountains were waiting, and I was finally on my way. I felt a sense of freedom I'd never known. The journey had begun, and I was ready for whatever it would bring. My heart beat in time with the distant peaks. I was searching for connection, for meaning, and I knew deep down, I was about to find it. The journey from the city was a transformation, plains to hills, hills to mountains. Soon we were surrounded by the living giants of mainland Greece. Their slopes were thick with green forests, sunlight dancing through the leaves. The air grew cooler, fresher. I breathed in pine, earth, and freedom. We rounded a bend and there they were, peaks piercing the sky, more majestic than any photo. Jagged ridges, old snow glistening like diamonds. I felt small but comforted, part of something bigger. Peace washed over me, silencing my mind. The colors were vivid: deep green trees, pale limestone cliffs, wildflowers in purple and red. The sky was a pure, intense blue. Nature's symphony played, wind in the trees, a hawk's cry, water trickling from a hidden spring. As we climbed higher, the world below faded away. My worries shrank. Only the sun and the vast landscape mattered. The mountains put everything in perspective. They've stood for ages, witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations. My problems felt insignificant against their enduring presence. I felt a sense of release, letting go of what didn't matter. I was no longer just a visitor, I was becoming part of the scenery. The mountains welcomed me into their ancient embrace. I was ready to explore, to learn, to be changed. The adventure had truly begun. Our destination was Zagori, a cluster of stone villages deep in the Pindus Mountains. Arriving felt like stepping back in time. Houses, bridges, and paths all built from local gray stone, blending into the landscape. No modern buildings spoiled the view. It was pure, rustic beauty. I wandered the cobbled mule paths, my footsteps echoing where generations had walked. The air was scented with wood smoke and jasmine. The architecture amazed me. Heavy slate roofs, sturdy walls, and arched stone bridges spanning clear rivers. Each bridge was a work of art, connecting not just land, but past and present. Evenings brought a magical quiet, golden sunlight on stone, crickets chirping, an owl's distant call. I'd sit on a balcony with mountain tea, watching stars appear in the clear sky. There were more stars than I'd ever seen, close enough to touch. In those moments, I felt deep contentment. Time moved slowly here. Beauty was simple and true. The villages held stories in every stone. I felt at home in their timeless peace. Zagori was a place to breathe, to dream, to belong. I knew I'd never forget it. The magic of the mountains lives in the people as much as the land. In every village I was welcomed with warmth and genuine hospitality. At a small cafenio, old men played backgammon and shared stories, always greeting me with a smile. One afternoon, Eleni, the cafenio owner, brought me homemade galatopita. Her kindness made me feel like a guest, not a tourist. We shared a quiet moment, understanding each other without many words. The food was simple and delicious: wild greens pies, slow-cooked lamb, creamy feta. Every meal celebrated the land and community. Eating here was about sharing and savoring life. One evening I joined a village festival: music, dancing, tables of food, everyone from children to grandparents. A local band played, villagers danced in a circle, and I was pulled in, learning the steps with laughter. Under the stars, surrounded by new friends, I felt pure happiness. Connection and joy were found in the simplest things. The mountains taught me that food and friendship go hand in hand. Every meal, every dance, was a celebration of life. I left each table and gathering with a full heart. These moments became the soul of my journey. My journey led me to the Vikos Gorge, one of Greece's greatest natural wonders. Standing at the edge, the sheer cliffs and the silver ribbon of the Voidomatis River below were humbling. The scale was almost impossible to grasp. I felt tiny but awed. I hiked a narrow rocky trail through ancient forests, the air cool and earthy. The only sounds, my boots, rustling leaves, the distant river. Each step deepened my connection to the wild. Sunlit clearings revealed breathtaking views. Rare wildflowers clung to the rocks, symbols of resilience. I rested by the river, its icy water invigorating, washing away fatigue and worry. The hike became a journey inward, silence echoing my thoughts, the gorge teaching strength and endurance. I reflected on my life, choices and dreams. The gorge, carved by time, remained beautiful and strong. It inspired me to face challenges with courage. Beauty, I learned, is found in the journey, not just the destination. The Vikos Gorge left me changed, humbled, inspired, and grateful. Its echoes stayed with me long after I left. Some of my most treasured moments were spent with the elders of the mountain villages. Life here moves slowly, people have time for each other. I listened to grandmothers and grandfathers share stories of hardship, joy, and harmony with nature. Their wisdom was simple but profound: patience, community, and respect for the land. I met Kostas, an old shepherd who shared his lunch and his philosophy: "We do not own this land, we are its caretakers." His words struck me deeply. Nature is a partnership, not a conquest. These encounters were hidden treasures, teaching me happiness is found in connection and gratitude. The elders showed me that a rich life is about appreciating what you have. Their stories and dignity stayed with me, planting seeds of wisdom. I left the mountains with a new perspective on what matters. The lessons of the elders became part of my journey. Their voices echoed in my heart, guiding me forward. I realized true wealth is measured in relationships and respect for the earth. Their wisdom continues to grow within me. As my time in the mountains ended, I felt a quiet transformation. The air had cleared my mind, the walk strengthened my body, and reflection nourished my soul. I was calmer, more centered, and deeply connected to the world. On my last morning, I climbed to a chapel to watch the sunrise. The sky turned pink, orange, and gold as light crept over the mountains. It felt like a new beginning, a promise of hope. I made a vow to carry the mountains' lessons with me, to live simply, seek beauty, and value connection. The mountains hadn't given me all the answers, but they'd changed my perspective. This journey was more than travel, it was transformation. Adventure, I learned, is about letting places change you. The mountains taught me about nature's power, community, and inner strength. I left knowing this was just the start of a new chapter. The lessons would shape my life long after I returned. I was ready to begin again, with a heart renewed. Leaving the mountains was bittersweet, the peaks shrinking and the rearview city sounds replacing silence. I missed the stone village's friendly faces, immense beauty, but I carried home a heart full of memories. Every taste-sound conversation became part of me. The mountains gave me peace, clarity, self-understanding. Back in my familiar world, I saw things with new eyes. Beauty in small moments, joy in the present. The lessons of the mountains stayed with me, a quiet strength in my heart. Whenever life felt overwhelming, I closed my eyes, returned to that sanctuary. The journey wasn't over, it had just begun. The magic of the mountains lived on inside me. I learned that adventure wonder can be found anywhere if you remember to look. The mountains taught me to be present, appreciate the here and now. Their gifts were priceless, woven into the fabric of my life. The journey continues every day. My journey to the Greek mountains changed me forever. It was more than a trip, it was a return to what matters most. The mountains challenge, humble, and reward you with peace. If your heart longs for more, seek out your own mountains, anywhere. Go where you can feel the earth, see the stars, and let silence speak. Let nature guide and heal you. You may be surprised by what you discover. There's a world of beauty and wisdom beyond the tourist trails. Pack light, leave worries behind, and open your heart to adventure. The treasures you find will last a lifetime. Thank you for sharing this journey. Subscribe for more stories of discovery. There are many more adventures to come.